lots of fantastic questions about how do my visual thinking courses fit together. And of course, it makes all the best sense in the world up here, but I haven't necessarily communicated that to you to help you decide the best investment in your time and attention and money. So I've got this very simple diagram here to help you understand how the pieces fit together. For last year, a year ago, I launched the Agerbeck Method, which is a sequential step-by-step course in all the foundations of visual thinking. And the sort of source text for that course is the Idea Shapers. And this is for any type of visual thinker. So no matter what your role is, you know that if you could think through your ideas and get them on paper, if you knew that you could listen to somebody and capture their ideas on paper, it can apply so many different ways, right? It could be internal for your own tool or a tool very useful to the tool that you use with other people. So the Agerbeck Method, again, is visual thinking for everybody. And these green, so that's yellow because the book is yellow. So this circle is representing visual thinking courses most broadly. Now these green circles, you might see where this is going, is all about graphic facilitation. So that is the specific role of being the one person in the room drawing for a group of people. Super specific, right? Not super, it's more specific, let's say that. Green book, green circles. So this course, like I said, for every type of visual thinker, these two courses are geared towards the person with that role. Now, it's not like super walled off that it can't be for other things. A lot of people happily who have read this book have said, hey, I don't quite do what you do, but I found it invaluable. So music to my ears. But we have two big comprehensive courses. So I would consider all three of these comprehensive courses in that they cover a whole lot of bases. They try to give you a big picture, systematic way of looking at the work. In this case, the work is learning visual thinking and strengthening those thinking muscles. Here, Graphic Facilitator Confidential is all about building your graphic facilitation business. So this is all about how to get in the room to do the work. And here, this is Gold Star Graphic Facilitation, which is all about how do you do the work in the room itself. And here, these radiating lines here are to represent that there is, for these courses, 5 modules, 5 major categories of the lessons in the course. I don't know how well this will pick up, but there's 9 circles here. This particular course has a bit of a different structure. It is released over the course of 90 days. Reminder, lifetime access. The course is not taken away from you after 90 days. It's just released in a specific order to help you learn these ideas step by step by step. But like I've said, this is called the Agerbeck Method because I'm so proud of it. I put my name on it. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not proud of these, but this, breaking down the complexity of visual thinking, no matter what your role is, into these 9 modules, into these 90 lessons over those 9 modules, super happy, super proud, super happy to share these lessons with you. Now, these 2 green guys, like I said, those are 5 modules, and those 5 modules are released over 5 weeks. Again, it's not that I pull the plug or close the lessons to you after 5 weeks. It's just that's the way it's delivered so that there's structure and so that there's a sense of I can watch these lessons and then let it soak in. And then I can watch the next module and let it soak in. But again, you take these courses at the pace that works for you. So again, there's very distinct boundaries between this is all about the business of the work and this is all about the work itself. But I'm getting a lot of questions about how do these two relate to each other. You may think, well, I've already got that course. Why would I want this one? I work extremely hard to make original content for each one of these courses. Very occasionally, I'll borrow a lesson. Like for instance, I've got a very specific video about what is the map, what is the progression, what is the sequence of a graphic facilitation project. That one lesson does live both here in the business course and here in the doing course, because it makes sense that that resource, that lesson would fit within each of those 2 circles. So back to this question of the overlap here. So the biggest thing is that there's an overlap in the skill building parts between this course and this course. Gold Star Graphic Facilitation is 5 modules, like I said. This first module is all about guiding principles around the work. The work itself in the room at that wall for that group of people, very, very intense, especially when you're I was going to try to say starting out and beginning at the same time. Beginning out, when you begin, it can be super intimidating. There's so much happening at once. So this is partly your North Star to help guide you when you start, but those principles are forever. It's definitely to help you orient when you first begin, but these are the mindset shifts or the foci, to help you really keep yourself grounded in what you are there to do. The next 3 modules in Gold Star Graphic Facilitation are specific to the skills. So module 2 is about listening, 3 is about thinking and organizing, and 4 is about drawing. Very much in parallel to the sections in the Graphic Facilitator's Guide. So there is some how-tos. A whole lot of this course is more about why would you do that? That sounded weird, but the whys behind the hows and the whats. So I'm understanding why I'm choosing to draw in this way, specific to this role. I'm understanding what I should be listening for to this specific role of graphic facilitation. So you can see there is overlap between this and this because you're absolutely learning visual thinking throughout this course. And I am very happy and proud to the work I'm best suited for, the best resources I can build for you is about visual thinking. So the emphasis is on the thinking, the organizing, the hierarchy. How are you creating structure? How are you seeing how all these different ideas, or in the room, all these different voices fit together? So this is, what I'm saying is this is visual thinking versus visual thinking. So if you can pick that up in the voice, it's that, a lot of people teach the visual side, but not a heck of a lot of people teach the thinking side. So here there is an overlap. You're definitely going to hear about listening. You're definitely going to hear about thinking and organizing for sure. And you're definitely thinking about how what you've just thought of and organized gets stuck on that piece of paper. But I do want to recognize that this course, I get to go into more detail about those skills. And this course, it's very specific to the role. So, again, this is not to say everyone has to buy everything. I just wanted to make a distinction between especially these 2 courses, because I think a whole lot of people are like, well, if I'm already doing this, why do I need this? Now, in this course, a fair number of the examples are about this work because it's a great example of the shift between how do you think visually when you're left to your own devices and have all the time in the world, versus how do you think visually and capture ideas or capture conversations when it's live, right? Very different shift between how you do this work, whether it is live on the clock or, like I said, off the clock, where there's much more malleability about time and you can pour into the details of what you're doing. You do have the time to really think through something if you're somebody who needs some time to ponder, right? So just wanted to make it clear that, yes, there is overlap, but there distinctly I can go into much more detail in this course on the visual thinking. And here in this course, I can be far more focused on what this work means within this role. So I definitely hope that helps give you a sense of what these 3 big circles are. Now, I talked about this last week in my video about the curriculum in general. I just wanted to give kind of a clue into these are comprehensive courses. This is taking this big systematic view on a very complex role and a very complex way of thinking and breaking it down into learnable pieces. This is very much my happy place of I know you can learn this, and I'm going to figure out how to break it into those learnable pieces so you can learn piece by piece, build those lessons up, and do smarter, more sophisticated work. The best. So, like I said, this size circle, these 3 circles, comprehensive courses. Agerbeck Method is already out there, working on finishing those 2 beautiful comprehensive courses. These middle-sized circles here are what I call deep dive courses. So they may be pulling out a specific part of a comprehensive course and going into even more detail. As much as these are comprehensive, I can't describe every single little detail or nuance in something without it taking hours and 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 hours to watch those lessons. Like, That's not where you need to be. You need the guidance from these courses and then go out and do the work, right? But there are times where something is worth going into more detail. So this, I don't have a label on this yet because it's not begun yet. This particular green middle-sized circle is a course called Shaping the Agenda. That's all about the prep call with your client. And the reason it's pointing to this point between these two circles is that that prep call is very much a transition from getting the business and getting into the room. So these deep dive courses are much fewer hours. Usually they're released as one, kind of depends on the amount, but as you get everything at once, right? You're not waiting 5 weeks to go through, to get each one of these 5 modules released. You're not going through getting a lesson a day for 90 days. It's more of a, you want to know about this thing, you want to dive deep, boom, here you go. In this case, I'm really looking forward to building out deep dives on the modules in Agerbeck Method. So for instance, this particular circle here, underneath that M and the E, is all about scale and hierarchy. So I'm pulling out those ideas and getting to go into more depth in this deep dive course, which is called Pyramid Power. So we're talking more specifically about scale and hierarchy. As an example, that is coming at some point. This is definitely coming at, like, if sequence-wise, it stands now, Agerbeck Method has been out since June of 2018. This will come out next, October of 2019. This will come out next, January of 2020. And this guy, Shaping the Agenda, should come out in the spring of 2020. And that's the thing, it's like, how do you pace these things in a way that doesn't make you feel overloaded? Certainly doesn't make me feel overloaded being in the studio all the time, but that there's a progression that makes sense in the way we're building up all these resources and making sure you know what the heck is what and what you need or what you want to learn from. Now this little circle here, these are what I call mini courses. This is very brief, very specific. So this is like a category that we get to go on depth in. This is one specific thing. I'm never going to do something that's a surface course, but it's much quicker. It's what can you learn in an hour, maybe 2 hours. But the goal is very quick. A lot of these, especially if you've already been watching me for a while and you're like, I already love this, I already get this, I'm watching Brandy, what is she making? The little teeny guys may not be what you need, because a lot of these little teeny guys are ways into these resources. So it's the introduction that helps you understand the value of visual tools. So then you're going to want to go deeper into some of these deep dive courses and some of these comprehensive courses. And when I can, I will show you the structure behind it like this. But there's no one right path for anybody. You know, you may discover my work and come in through Pyramid Power and they go, wait a second, holy crow, there's these other options, and you decide, you know, do I want to do this? Is this important to me or is this not important to me? You know, again, no one single path, no one single answer, but I will try my best to show you how the pieces fit together so you can make the right decisions for yourself. And by all means, if you have any questions, please ask, because very much I'm so kind of in this like universe of resources, and it's hard. It's hard to remember to start speaking in a different voice that makes sense to you, right? I can talk to myself forever in my own like hyper nerdy way. So again, do not be afraid of asking questions. I am all about you finding what works for you. I'm confident that there's lots of people who want these resources. So in no way do I want to be like forcing you to like complete the set, or, you know, if you do this one, you have to do this one. None of that. But it is important that you understand what does each course contain so you can make those decisions. And there you go. If you want more details about these courses, you can go to the page and there'll be a whole outline of what is involved in that course. So hope this helps. Again, I welcome questions and I so appreciate you watching.